Hey guys, so I'm here today. I've got a project I'm starting up. I'm going to be going ahead and I'm going to be taking out a lot of the trim pieces and wrapping them. And so to get started with that, this video is going to be going over how to remove all of the trim pieces inside of the Honda Civic that I'm going to be wrapping. So that's going to be all of the silver accents. There's the black piece across the middle. Here, I'll go ahead and show you guys that here in a second. And it's going to be the pieces around the shifter. And so as I go ahead and do those, I'll make sure and go in depth and show you guys how to get all that done well. So here's the inside of mine. So I'm going to be removing this piece here. I'm going to be going for those two pieces there, that little black piece there. I'm going to be going for the shifter boot here, and then I'm going to be going for that black strip there. And then I guess also the matching pieces over there on that door from the driver's door. So let's get started. Alright, so I've just got a couple tools here. I've got a multi-screwdriver and this little plastic prying tool. You can use a flathead screwdriver with a cloth or something, but just make sure it's something you can get into edges with and that's not going to end up tearing up the trim. Alright, so I'm going to be starting with these trim pieces here on both sides. It is the same process for both sides, so I'm only going to show one. So I'm going to go ahead and start here with my trim tool. I'll put it right in there, and I'm going to start running it down the side there. And you can see here, so as I run it through, you can kind of see it's coming apart there. So I'll set that down, and I'll go ahead and grab this and pull up on it. It goes ahead and it snaps out just like that. This top part's a little tricky. Just go ahead and work that piece on out. There it goes. See, just that last clip is kind of stubborn. So I'll go ahead and get that on the other side. Alright, so I've got both those pieces off. It went pretty fast. So next we're going to be taking out this piece here, so the climate control. And so we should be able just to pull on that, and it just has some clips behind it. There's that side. And there's that side there. Now it has clips behind it. Now I have been told that if you remove those and try and start the car with this removed, it will throw engine lights. And so you can avoid removing those just to keep that from being a possibility. So next we're going to be going ahead. You can kind of see the screws back there. And that's going to help us get the radio out for this next part. Okay, so now that I've got those two bolts out, this piece here, we're just going to grab here on the top. And the whole thing just kind of pulls out. Now, there are some clips we can take out behind there to get the radio totally removed. I'm probably not going to pull the radio all the way out, just to avoid having any problems with that. So what that'll do is it makes it so we can get to this piece here, and removing those side pieces made it so we could get to this whole shifter assembly here. So I'll go ahead and show that next part. Alright, so I just kind of gently set those back in place just to keep them out of the way. So we're moving on to the shifter part here. So the shifter part, we've got a couple screws here we're going to be taking out. And once we get those screws out, we're going to go ahead and get this thing out. Alright, so for this next part, we're going to go ahead and pull up on this. It is only held in by clips, but it is pretty tight. So we can go ahead, I'll start over here. Pull up there, that snaps up. There's that side, and there it goes. Now there are some clips we can go ahead and undo there on the bottom just to fully release this so we can wrap it, and then I'll go ahead and get moved on to the next parts. Alright, so now that that piece there is out, we're going to go ahead and move on to this. So again, I had just gently set these up there, so I'm going to go ahead and move those back out of the way, about like that. Now, we'll start with this piece here. It's only held in by a couple clips, so we just pull on it, and that comes right off. Now, this next piece here, I'm not going to show me pulling the whole thing out just because it is big, but it is only held in by clips. And so you can start here and just gently pull on it and work your way down. I'd use the trim tool and kind of run it there and help pull it up, and stick your fingers through the vent and pull on it. And so I'll show once I've gotten that out. Okay, so I went ahead and unsnapped it, but I'll leave it there just to show you how. So I started here, and I kind of worked my thumb down that edge all the way down here. And then once I got down to this edge, I kind of started here, and I pulled up, and it unsnaps, and you can pull out. Now, you've got to pull on that pretty hard, but you've got to be careful not to crack it, because I'm sure that would crack pretty easily. So we'll go ahead and get moved on over to the other side. Okay, so our next step is going to be removing this piece here. Now you can lift up and kind of pull out on it, so you're going to want to do a motion like this. It's really hard to pull on it that way, so you can try and lift up. Now I've kind of already loosened mine a bit, but I mostly did it by pulling up, and then it comes off like that. And that one is also pretty tight, but that'll give us access to the rest of the clips we need to get to. All right, so now that we've got this open, there's a couple screws you can see here and over here. Those are holding in. This is the GPS for the car. We're going to get those removed and then go ahead and get this one and that one pulled out, and I'll get to that next point. All right, so I've got all those screws up there out. Now this whole piece here, this is all one piece all the way across here, and it is, because it's so large, I mean, I guess it's quite fragile, so we're not quite going to try pulling that out yet. What we're going to do next is we're actually going to grab down here this piece here, and you can kind of start here over at the top and the sides with your trim tool, but this whole piece here has to come on down. So we'll get that removed and move on to the next part. All right, so for this next part, we've got a screw here and a screw down there. We're going to go ahead and remove those two, and that'll give us access to the side part here. All right, so I've got those two screws out, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this side here, and we'll just gently pull on that. Let's see. All right, there that goes. So you can kind of see how that's coming out there. There it goes. And then of course there's that padding in there. All right, so now that we've got that side cover off, we're gonna go ahead and grab here, kind of see here on the back of this, and pull on that. And as we pull on that, a couple of clips there give, we'll just kind of work our way around. All right, and that there is just about the entire piece. There's a couple more clips, and I'll go ahead and get those worked out and move on to the next part. All right, so I've got this piece just about all the way out. I did find there was a clip connecting this piece here to the little trim panel that the start button was on, so you can go ahead and pull on that. And then there's a clip up here just behind there, and so you'll go ahead and have to disconnect that, get this trim piece off. So there that goes. And then this piece here, it's a little tricky, but you can kind of work that piece there out. So I'll go ahead and get that out and move on. All right, so here's the inside of my Civic here, now that I've removed all these trim pieces. And it's gonna go back in the same way as before, except for opposite, of course, in the opposite order. So I'll go ahead and move on to that next part here. All right, so it is the next day. Where I finished off yesterday, I had just removed all of the interior trim pieces. I went ahead and I finished wrapping them and got them put back in. It goes back in the exact same way it comes out. So I'll go ahead and give you guys a quick overview of how it looks now that I've got it finished up. So here's the inside now that I've got some of those pieces wrapped. See, you can see those little pieces that were silver. I've got the carbon fiber look going here. Get all that shifter done. And then one thing I also got done is this is the base control knob for my subs in the back. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I ended up using one of these unused buttons. So if anyone's interested in seeing how I did that, I'll make a video for that in the future. Alright guys, so it's a couple days later. This video is kind of being stretched out a little bit just because it didn't turn out quite how I was wanting it to come a couple of days, and I had time to kind of, I guess, break in. So now that it's been in here a couple of days, as soon as it got hot, all of the wrap started peeling up. I don't know if that's because of the wrap or because of the way I wrapped it. I'm definitely not a professional when it comes to wrapping. I also got a very cheap wrap. So as far as this wrap, I probably won't suggest this one. I'd suggest going and finding a different, probably a better quality one than this one. So I probably won't attach the link for this one in the description. I'll go ahead and show you guys what I've got going on here. All right, so you can kind of see here, all these little edges here started peeling up, And that's one spot, and then I've got it over here. It gets a lot worse over here. All of that started coming up there. It does a little bit down over there. And over here, I'm getting issues where a lot of these little corners and stuff are starting to kind of come up, as you can see there. I really liked how it looked to start with, but as far as how it looked after a couple of days, it didn't last super great, and I was kind of disappointed with it. So I might come back to it later, having bought a better quality wrap. So I'll go ahead and do a review maybe later on of a different wrap that might do better. And then I guess we'll get to see whether it was how I wrapped it or whether it was actually a cheap wrap. Hey guys, so thanks for watching today's video. I'm glad everything that went pretty smoothly as far as the install. It's just too bad that the wrap didn't end up lasting super well. So maybe I'll have to do another one later on where I use a better quality wrap and see how that one does. So please give it a like and subscribe. Please continue to give me advice on how I can make my videos better. I'm constantly trying to improve and I'm trying different things out, but having that input really does help to help me know exactly what it is that you guys are looking for. And I'll keep trying to make more relevant content. So thanks for watching. Have a great one.